Welcome to another interesting edition of Lifelines with Mima. How have you been? It's been a while and I have missed you. Today, I want us to treat the subject of parenting. As you know, I'm very passionate about the family unit, and everything begins with the kind of relationships that you build into marriage, and of course, what kind of parent you are. Because as parents, we build the future. We prepare the little ones for what life is going to offer them. We have 4 types of parents. The first kind of parents are the uninvolved parents. These parents don't care. They are just sending money. They're just leaving the children with the maids. Everything they do is to make money and just make up for the lost time. Are you that kind of parent? The next one is the permissive parents. These are the ones that don't believe in consequences and punishments. They just permit everything. They are permissive. They're anything. They're, oh, leave him, let him do. Oh, leave her, let her do it. You know, are you that kind of parent? We also have authoritarian parents. Those are the kind of parents that most of us grew up with. When daddy's horn sounds at the gate, everybody takes off. You put off the TV, you quickly rub it with a wet towel so daddy does not know you've been watching. You are afraid at even the voice of mommy when she's coming. And those kind of parents, they believe children should not be heard. They don't care about the children's feelings. They give orders, matching orders, and expect it to work. Are you that kind of parent? And finally, we have the authoritative kind of parents. These guys are the ones that balance it out well. They are disciplined, but at the same time, they listen to the children. They know the stages of life and become friends with their children as they grow. I ask you today, what kind of parent are you? Before long, I'm going to be introducing you to a special couple who, let's see what kind of parents they are. Would they be authoritative or authoritarian? With me now, I have Mr. and Mrs. Wilson. Let's meet them. Welcome,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you very much,
Welcome,
Mima.
madam. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for coming. How are you doing? Very well. How's everything with you, sir?
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay.
A few days ago, your wife came to complain about the situation with your marriage right now. I'm aware that you've been having difficulty lately, and that's why I decided to invite you to see what the problem is and what we can do to help resolve it. So, madam, what is the problem?
Mima, this man here is my lovely husband, who I've spent part of my life with. And he just changed after the death of our only daughter.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry.
Since then, I noticed changes of character in him. That is why I brought a complaint here. Because we hardly eat together, and our sexual life is so boring. When I try to make advice, he either ignores me or walks out of me completely. I don't really know what to do. I'm so tired.
I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter. Sir, what do you have to say?
Mima, yes, sir. This woman also told you that she masterminded the death of her only child.
Wow, how did she do that?
As a lorry driver, I'm always on the road. I hardly stay home. And this woman, after her daughter's death, I heard from neighbors how she used to allow useless miscreants to mess up with my daughter. Wow. She took in the process. And she couldn't even tell me she took her far away in another state for an abortion. Wow. And in the process, my daughter died.
How old was she?
She's just 14, my only child.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You know when we had her, the doctors told us that it would only be by God's grace for her to conceive again and have more babies. She herself, you can ask her. She even walked up to me and told me to pick a second wife, but I refused because I loved her. I love this woman. But all those love and affection died with my daughter. In fact, I am so tired of this marriage. I'm no longer interested.
I'm so sorry, sir. Please calm down.
No, I want to live my life. I need peace.
In fact, Mima, I really want to know my stand in this marriage.
Better.
And I'm just thinking for divorce. What is all this rubbish?
Calm down, madam. It hasn't gotten to that yet. Please calm down. Sir, so, what's the way forward? What do we do?
The only way forward is divorce. I am tired. I am sick and tired of all these things. I don't want to be with her again because I look at her like my fellow man.
Wow.
Wesley, you are so wicked.
That's what you're saying, right?
So wicked.
When you killed her only daughter.
Please, just let me be. It is now you show your real self. What do you mean?
I have nothing to say to her.
God will help you.
Madam, why are you angry at him? What role did you expect him to play that he didn't play that's affecting you?
Mima, he's so involved in our daughter training. He was not really there for us. He was so harsh and unapproachable. He always talk about his business and abandon us, his family. People that he calls his own. And I tried my best. I was so much afraid because I know the kind of husband I have. That is why I took my daughter somewhere to I was just looking for a solution, Mima. I don't just know.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Let's take the matter to our situation room. We'll be right back. Today we're treating the subject of parenting. There are different kinds of parents, and our client for today was the kind of parent that was always absent and also very, very difficult and fearful to his child, which led the mother of the child to take a child to go and do an abortion at 14, which cost them that child at the end of the day. What is even the position of the law about this, and what do they also think?
This clandestine operation actually takes place all over the world. And okay, let's use for instance in Nigeria, is punishable by up to 14 years imprisonment, as covered by the penal code and the criminal code.
What is punishable?
Abortion for up to 14 years imprisonment. And in the case of Aro versus Inyong and Udom, something like this happened. And the person who took the disease to get the abortion was actually held criminally responsible for manslaughter at the end of the day. You can imagine such heavy charges. Now, this situation is really, it's a bit saddening because the 14 years old child had to die for the woman to actually do something to not stain the reputation or incur the anger of her husband. So maybe a reason for doing that, it's not weighty enough for her to have taken her child to get an abortion, which is a crime. She ought to have found a better time to talk to the husband, maybe bring the family members to try and assuage the whole situation, make it easier for the man to accept what just happened, instead of committing such a crime and killing an innocent girl. Of course, we don't know why she got pregnant, how she got pregnant, but that is not even a bone of contention right now. The fact is that the child is dead, and as a result, the husband no longer loves his wife, and he wants no part to do with her anymore.
Like a barrister here said, we don't know how this child got pregnant. She's too young for such thing to happen to her. Maybe it was a rape, maybe it was, deceit or whatever that has happened to her. But the bottom line is pregnancy showed up. Now, this woman has even crucified herself in the first place by, getting herself worked up, thinking what the society is going to say. What will our neighbors say? What will the family, the father's family say? What will they say? Now, she made an attempt to call her husband twice to relate what has happened, what is happening back home. The husband is away, always driving. He's a truck driver, a lorry driver for that matter. For him not to have listened I may want to justify it because when you are driving, you don't pick up your calls. But she said her husband has not been given a listening ear. That means they have communication breakdown in that family. In the first place, that is the genesis of this problem. Now, this child made her mother to know, or mother found out that she was pregnant. She wanted to seek opinion of one of, other people's opinion, which the next person for her to call is her husband. She was under pressure. She was under serious pressure. If we put ourselves in her shoes, this may be what a greater percentage of women would try to do. It's only that this thing happened, that it got out of hands, that this child had to, lose her life. Very sorry about that. It's not a good thing to happen in a family, and that's the only child they had. Now, my opinion will be that we find a common ground for both of them, for the husband to accept his own not being there for the family. She's only but a woman. And the woman, too, should take her own that she has done a kind of permanent damage to the marriage in the first place. So I wouldn't conclude for now.
It is quite impunity, wallahi tallahi, in the part of the woman. This man, you see, Milma, when I think about it, it is souring to the ear. This man is under the rain, is like a clarion call for him, trying to make the family come together, and he's looking even for the best for the family. The man can decide to be drinking gin in every junction and become wayward. But now he is trying to put the family together. This woman is busy sharing everything the husband has provided. Now the little girls, girls observe by what they see. I believe it's the same karkata of the mother she has followed. She has followed the footsteps of the mama. That's why in the first instant, she didn't even think about it, that to go for D&C, abortion in other words.
Malama Jebo, what gave you the impression that the woman was like that?
Thank you very much. Pregnancy, you don't drink it. It's an act. There are things that are instinct. For instance, sucking of breast. Nobody teaches you that. Is in you. But this woman, as a matter of fact, she is working in our local parlor, called care movement. Then the daughter is observing. Now the daughter, as wayward as she could be, like the mother, could not even account for the seed she has swallowed. Now you want the man to welcome them and throw party for them? I think they should throw them out into the prison.
I think Malama Jebo, it's not that this man is already crossed. The man is already crossed with his wife. He's very, very angry.
So to say that is the least.
He cannot allow this to happen. He's not accepting
he's
it. He's very, very angry.
Think about the road he is flying.
No, you are saying the same thing.
Who are saying we are in the same page, but not in the same chapter.
We are on the same page, but not on the same chapter. I know Malama Jebo.
You don't know me because I see you want to size a woman that the man is not a listening man. Is it a tea party to drive lorry? It's not a luxury. It's a lorry, for crying out loud. Only for them to welcome him with a dead child in an act, let the woman from there go to their village.
Yes, first it takes a village to raise a child. It's supposed to be the responsibilities of the man and the woman to care for the child.
Who provides food? Who provides lingerie?
Everybody have their responsibilities. And his responsibility was to be there for the daughter and the wife, to give them emotional and, apart from financial and physical support, the other supports that fathers and husbands should give to their wives and their children, so they don't come out with a decision like this. If the man had been a listening man and actually acted out his role as a father and a loving husband, this most likely would have been averted, but that's not the case. So what I would advise going forward is both of them should sit down and have a good discussion among themselves. If they want to involve the family, that's okay. But if it's a situation whereby the man feels all love is lost, then maybe a separation may be encouraged in order to, because the man must have been deeply hurt. It's hurtful that
now you are getting the
point. Of 14 years old, but he should actually agree to the fact that he had, even if it's a little percentage of misconduct or not properly taking out his role or exercising his role as the father is the reason why this must have happened. He should take a little share of the blame, and if he's okay with it, they can move on fine. But if not, they can go their separate ways, and life goes on.
Yeah, let me come in here. There's what we call an absentee father. The way the human mind has been created or wired, or the human body, it is deliberate that God ensured that a woman alone can't get herself pregnant. Neither can a man get a child unless it is through a woman. What that tells us is that both parties are necessary in the development of a proper child. Many of us come from highly dysfunctional families where, there's sexual violence, there's domestic abuse, and all sorts of things. And we grow up accepting that as norm. This is why you hear men beat their wives up, because their father beats their mother. They don't know what normal is, and they don't even realize how bad what they're doing is. And so it's necessary, because you see, the effect on the society is really huge, and this is one of them. There are things that a father would have noticed and dealt with if he was actually involved with taking care of his child. If he was not away 90% of the time, maybe the story would have been different today. And now we have parents that are also permissive, where they just indulge. It's okay, she's just a child, she's the only child I have, let's just, and you do that. So those two extremes are really bad. And I see two parents that are equally guilty. One of being too permissive, the second being completely absent from the life of his child. So raising children, even when we're separated or divorced, I strongly always counsel patients and clients and people in general to ensure that when they are raising children, even if they are separated, there is provision for the children to bond with the father and also mother. And see, also what she says is very important. Communication in every marriage is really, really key. If you are too busy to listen, things can go really, really bad. Maybe at the time she was calling the husband to, maybe if he was the kind of husband that's accessible, she may have been able to discuss this with him, and he may have come from, no, it's our only child. It has happened. Let her have the baby. We'll take care of the baby. The story would have been different today. And so it is on both sides, and I feel, both parties are guilty and have both done something wrong that has contributed to the death of their own child. Is there anything else you want to add before we go? There you have it. It's very critical that we know what being a parent entails. It is necessary to become an intentional parent, because you see, the way your father raised you is not going to work for the children of today. You need to grow and evolve with your children. You have to be involved in their lives at different stages, up until they are adults and you become their mentor and advisor. It is necessary that you discipline them, you listen to them, you play with them, you spend time with them. And of course, when you have issues like teen pregnancies, don't just take those funny decisions of going to try in a quack place to remove the pregnancy. It may just cost the life of this person that you are trying to protect. Welcome back. Unfortunately, it's very sad that we lost a young girl, as a result of a mistake. I'm so sorry, sir. I know your heart is breaking. And madam, you've heard, our discussants as well. Each person is very passionate about this. And well, to be sincere with you, I must be honest. Parenting has to be by both parties. If you're away most of the time, your wife may not have the capacity to raise your child properly, because there are several things that you may notice and take care of as her father that she may not know how to handle. This is where you find children that are either overmothered and underfathered, or children that go out there and do drugs and find solace with older men or older women. This sugar mommy syndrome or sugar daddy syndrome stems from most of the time young children that never had that kind of figure growing up. And so I do not want to blame anybody. In therapy, we don't do that. We just find ways to problem solve and move forward. But I'm saying that I wish you were there more. And I'm saying that I wish she also talked to you more. And I'm saying that because of lack of communication in your marriage, and also because of the kind of parenting skills you have, this may have led to what has cost us the life of our daughter. I'm so sorry that you've had to suffer this pain. Okay, sir. So, what would you like us to do now, moving forward?
I still want a divorce.
Wow, you're still that way?
Yes, because I'm tired.
I'm so sorry. My advice would be that you should still try. The thing about divorce is that if you're going to walk away from marriage, you need to know that you've done everything possible to save it. That's one. You find closure, that's two. And number three, you honor the memory of your daughter. If she were here, would she have liked for you guys to be apart? Is it possible that God may still bless you with other children? Is it possible to adopt children and still build a life and have that love in your home? Let's not take the route of divorce so quickly. I promise you, I'm going to be dedicated to you. We're going to run at least a 3-month program. If you will honor me with just holding on, let's work on this marriage. And let's treat these painful things that have happened and see how we can fix it. You've loved her for a long time. And I don't think love goes away that easily. I know you are pained. I know she is also pained. But please, let's give love a chance. Let's give God also a chance. Please. Okay? All right, then. There you have it. The process has started. It's going to get better from here. Well, unfortunately, today is ending on a sad note. You've heard from our discussants and the couple involved. You heard the different kinds of parenting. And of course, many of us make the mistake of just becoming parents without actually planning. You and I need to work on becoming intentional parents where you are deliberate about your steps. You don't just allow things happen with your children. You learn, you get an education about raising children. You balance it out well. There's no money in the world that can make up for lost time with your children. It is important that the child grows up with the father and the mother. Blaming one party or the other is a mistake because that's why God made it so. So you can balance each other out and bring your different strengths to the table and raise that child well. If you provide all the money in the world, but you are just not there, then of course you see tragic stories like the ones we heard today, and of course much more, which will end up in divorces and a whole lot more that you don't want to imagine. I have so many clients, so many of my patients that come at the age of retirement, 62, 63, and they find that all their children are on drugs, their wives are depressed. You know why? Because they chased career and money all their lives. They didn't take time to become involved parents. I hope that you learned something new today. You don't need to go through life's issues alone. You know why? Mima cares as always.